The morning sun painted the horizon gold as Jonas walked across the dry African savanna. His boots pressed into the cracked earth, his uniform stained with years of dust and dedication. As the park's oldest ranger, he had seen almost everything. But today, something pulled at his gut, a strange tension in the air. His radio crackled. A voice, shaky, urgent, whispered that a herd of elephants had been spotted moving frantically near the old water trench. Jonas's heart skipped. That trench had not held water in years. Nothing moved there. Why would elephants return to a place so dead? He grabbed his gear and raced toward the coordinates. The savanna stretched endlessly, heat shimmering like a ghost. As he reached the trench, he froze. Dust clouds circled a massive female elephant standing at the edge. She trumpeted not out of anger, but heartbreak. Her eyes locked on Jonas. Something about her gaze was different. It was not wild. It was pleading. Jonas slowly stepped closer. Her ears flapped, but she did not move. She turned slightly and looked down into the trench. Jonas followed her gaze, and his breath caught. At the bottom of the trench, hidden in shadow, a baby elephant lay still, motionless. Jonas whispered, "Oh no." He slid down the dry wall. Each step echoed with tension. The mother did not move. She watched in silence. Reaching the calf, Jonas checked for signs of life. Its chest rose. Barely. Jonas called for backup, but silence answered. The radio's signal had died. Jonas looked up. The trench walls were too steep. He was alone. But not really. The mother elephant stared, unmoving. Her eyes were wet. Jonas placed his hands beneath the calf's body. It was weak. Heat exhaustion. Starvation. He poured water from his bottle onto its lips. Drops disappeared into its cracked tongue. Jonas knew he could not lift the baby alone. He climbed up and faced the mother. "I cannot do this without help," he whispered. The mother took a step forward, then another. Her trunk reached toward Jonas, brushing his shoulder. Her eyes, once wild, now seemed to understand. Jonas walked in circles around the trench. His mind raced. He saw a pile of old planks, abandoned from a forgotten construction. An idea sparked. He dragged them toward the trench, stacking them like a ramp. The boards slipped, dust exploded. The baby cried out. The mother groaned a long, deep wail that shook the ground. Jonas steadied the wood. He whistled gently. The calf's ears flicked. Jonas stepped back, signaling. The mother moved forward, slowly. Her feet touched the top of the trench. Jonas froze. She began descending the makeshift ramp. The wood creaked, groaned, but held. She reached her baby. Gently, she wrapped her trunk around its body. She lifted not roughly, but with love. Slowly, shakily, she pulled the calf upward, inch by inch. Jonas held his breath. The ramp shook under their weight, but it held. At the edge, the calf tumbled. Onto solid ground. Jonas rushed forward. The mother let him near. She watched with trust as Jonas poured more water. The calf's trunk curled weakly. Jonas smiled. It would live. But something else happened. As Jonas sat, wiping sweat from his brow, the mother elephant did something no one could have imagined. She knelt, her massive legs folded, her body lowered to the ground before Jonas. It was not submission. It was respect. Gratitude. Jonas's eyes welled with tears. In his decades as a ranger, no animal had ever bowed. The story could have ended there, but it did not. Days passed. The calf recovered. Jonas visited daily. The herd accepted him. One morning, as Jonas approached the old trench, he found something strange. A pile of fresh leaves, berries, twigs arranged in a perfect circle. At the center, a single tusk-shaped rock. A gift from the mother. Jonas picked it up. It was heavy, cold, and then he noticed something carved into the stone. Not words, symbols, shapes, a wave, a sun, a footprint. Jonas took it to the park office. Experts examined it. What they found stunned everyone. The symbols matched ancient tribal carvings, known to represent stories of partnership between man and beast. Somehow, the elephant had given Jonas a message older than memory. Word spread. Reporters came, but Jonas stayed silent. This was not a story for headlines. It was sacred. Months passed. Then something unbelievable happened. A wildfire swept across the plains. Rangers scrambled. Jonas raced toward the eastern fence, fearing for the herd. Flames roared, smoke rose, and in the distance Jonas saw the elephants. Trapped, cornered, no escape. He shouted, waved, but the fire was too fast. And then through the smoke, a shape emerged, the mother. She charged through the fire, eyes locked on Jonas. He ran alongside her, guiding her toward a break in the flames. The calf followed. The herd turned. Together, they ran. Jonas stumbled, coughing. Fire licked the earth. Then something heavy hit him. The mother. She had blocked the fire's path with her body, shielding Jonas. He screamed, but she did not move. The fire passed. When Jonas opened his eyes, she was still, burned, silent. The calf cried out. Jonas wept. The sky rained ash. But the herd survived, because of her. Rangers buried her near the trench. Her calf stood beside the grave. Jonas visited every week. One day, years later, a new ranger joined. Young, curious. He asked Jonas about the old grave. Jonas smiled. That, he said, was not just an elephant. He placed the stone gift on the marker. That was the soul of this land. The ranger stared. Why did she trust you? Jonas looked at the sun. Because I listened. And that was the day the savannah remembered what it meant to be human.